Stop scrolling. If you're 60 plus and on SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, tomorrow's confirmed payment release could hit your account or get delayed without you even realizing why. If you click away now, you could miss a critical update that affects when and how your money arrives. The SSA has confirmed key details most people haven't seen yet, and at the heart of this deep dive, I'll reveal the exact trigger behind these three payments. If you're ready for the truth, smash that like button right now. If you're still with me, here's what you need to understand right now. When we talk about three confirmed payments hitting at once for Americans over 60 who rely on SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, we're not talking about a random rumor floating around social media. We're talking about how the federal payment calendar actually works and how timing, eligibility categories, and processing cycles can line up in a way that feels sudden, dramatic, and even confusing if you're not prepared. And confusion is the last thing you need when you depend on that money to pay rent, utilities, prescriptions, and groceries. Let's start by grounding this in reality. The Social Security Administration, often shortened to SSA, operates on a structured monthly payment schedule. For retirees and SSDI recipients, payments are typically distributed based on birth dates. SSI, on the other hand, is usually paid on the first of the month. But here's where it gets interesting. When the first of the month falls on a weekend or federal holiday, SSI payments are issued early, usually on the preceding business day. That means in certain months, you can see what looks like extra money in one calendar month, when in fact it's simply an early disbursement of the following month's benefit. Now layer on top of that, the way SSDI and retirement benefits are staggered across the second, third, and fourth Wednesdays of each month depending on your birthday. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th, you're typically paid on the second Wednesday. If it falls between the 11th and 20th, you're paid on the third Wednesday. If it's between the 21st and 31st, you're paid on the fourth Wednesday. That staggered system spreads out payments across the month, but in certain timing scenarios, especially when early SSI releases collide with a regular Wednesday cycle, some recipients can see multiple deposits within a short window. Then we bring in VA benefits. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs operates on its own schedule, but it generally aligns payments at the beginning of each month for the prior month's entitlement. Just like SSI, if that date lands on a weekend or federal holiday, the VA may issue the deposit on the last business day before the first. So imagine this. An early SSI payment drops at the end of one month, a VA benefit lands around the same time, and then an SSDI or retirement payment hits on the following Wednesday. Suddenly, within a span of days, 3 deposits show up in your account. To someone watching their balance closely, it can feel like a surge. But here's the crucial point. This is not a bonus, not a surprise stimulus, not a secret expansion of benefits. It is the calendar at work. And if you misunderstand that calendar, you could accidentally overspend early in the cycle thinking you've received extra funds, only to feel the pinch weeks later when no additional deposit arrives, because that extra payment was simply early. This is where urgency comes in. If you rely on these funds, timing matters just as much as amount. A shift of even a few days can affect automatic bill drafts. If your rent auto-withdraws on the 1st, but your SSI came early at the end of the previous month, your account might look flush for a moment. But if you assume another check is coming on the 1st and it doesn't, that mismatch can cause overdrafts or late fees. That's why understanding release patterns isn't just informational, it's protective. Now let's talk about why people over 60 are specifically paying attention. Many Americans in that age group are either transitioning from SSDI to retirement benefits or managing a combination of retirement, SSI, or VA disability compensation. The closer you are to retirement age, the more complex your payment mix can become. Some people receive Social Security retirement benefits while also qualifying for partial SSI if their income remains low enough. Others receive VA disability compensation in addition to Social Security. When those streams overlap, deposit timing becomes a puzzle. And there's another layer that rarely gets discussed. Banking institutions process federal deposits through the ACH system, and some banks release funds early as a customer perk. So even though the official pay date may be a Wednesday, Your bank might show the deposit pending or available on Monday or Tuesday. That early availability can create the illusion that something unusual is happening when in reality it's simply your bank's policy. What's powerful, and what most people overlook, is how predictable this actually is. The SSA publishes its full payment calendar every year in advance. The VA does the same. There is no mystery once you look at the official schedule. But many beneficiaries never check it directly. They rely on headlines, social posts, or word of mouth. That's how panic spreads. Someone sees 3 deposits close together and posts that extra money is rolling out. The rumor catches fire. And suddenly, thousands of people are either excited or anxious without verifying the source. Let's pause and make this personal. If you're 60 or older and living on fixed income, predictability equals stability. You don't need surprises, good or bad. You need to know exactly when funds will arrive so you can plan groceries, medication refills, utilities, insurance premiums, and transportation costs. Even a perception of change can cause stress. And stress, especially financial stress, carries real health consequences. So what should you actually do when you hear about confirmed releases? First, check your benefit type. Are you receiving SSI, SSDI, retirement, VA compensation? Each has its own schedule. Second, check the official calendar for the month in question. Look at where the first falls. Look at the Wednesdays. Look at any federal holidays. When you map those dates out, you'll often see how 3 payments can cluster without being new or additional. There's also the matter of cost of living adjustments, commonly called COLA. These adjustments typically take effect in January each year. When a COLA increase hits, the amount changes, and sometimes the first increased payment arrives earlier than people expect because of calendar shifts. That combination, a slightly higher amount plus an early release, can feel like a sudden windfall. But again, it's scheduled. One more factor that fuels confusion is retroactive payments. Occasionally, someone approved for SSDI after months of processing receives a lump sum covering prior months. That can create a significant deposit that appears alongside regular payments. But retroactive disbursements are case-specific, not universal. They are not mass releases for everyone over 60. The big takeaway here is clarity. When you see headlines about multiple confirmed payments, interpret them through the lens of scheduling mechanics, not secret policy changes. Federal benefit systems do not quietly add bonus checks without formal legislative announcements. Any permanent increase requires congressional action and public documentation. And here's something empowering. Once you understand the rhythm of these systems, you gain control. You can align your bill due dates, request adjusted draft schedules from service providers, and even speak with your bank about early release policies. You move from reactive to proactive. That shift alone reduces financial anxiety. Now imagine the opposite scenario. Imagine not knowing the calendar, seeing 3 deposits, assuming abundance, and making spending decisions based on that assumption. Weeks later, when no additional payment appears because the earlier one was simply advanced, you're forced into credit usage or high-interest borrowing. That cycle is avoidable with information. So yes, 3 payments can appear within days. Yes, that can feel dramatic. But the drama is in the timing, not in hidden policy. The SSA and the VA operate on transparency. Their schedules are published, fixed, and consistent year to year with only holiday-based adjustments. If you're watching this and you're over 60, take this moment to do something practical after this video ends. Pull up the official SSA payment calendar for the current year. Mark your expected dates. Cross-reference them with your bank's early deposit pattern. Write it down. When you see how it aligns, you'll feel that weight lift. And if you know someone who panics every time they hear about a confirmed release, share this understanding with them. Financial rumors move faster than facts. Calm, verified information is powerful. At the end of the day, the real confirmation isn't about surprise money. It's about confirmation of timing. Confirmation that the system is operating as scheduled. Confirmation that if a payment date shifts, it's because of a weekend or holiday, not because something is wrong. Stability comes from knowledge, and knowledge removes fear. So as you prepare for tomorrow, Don't just watch your bank account. Watch the calendar. Understand the cycle. Recognize that 3 payments close together are usually a scheduling alignment, not an expansion. When you see that deposit hit, you'll know exactly why it arrived and exactly what it represents. That's the truth behind the headline. As we wrap this up, here's what truly matters. Knowledge is your protection. When you understand how the Social Security Administration and the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs schedule and release payments, the fear disappears. 3 deposits close together don't have to feel confusing or overwhelming. They become predictable, manageable, and part of a system you fully understand. And when you're living on fixed income, that kind of clarity is powerful. If this breakdown helped you feel more confident about your benefits, make sure you subscribe so you never miss critical updates that affect your money. Drop a comment below and let me know which benefit you receive and whether your payment dates ever confused you. And most importantly, share this video with someone over 60 who depends on SSI, SSDI, or VA benefits, because the right information at the right time can make all the difference.